What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the company Roku. It's going to be releasing earnings on May 7th, so put that on your calendar. Stock ticker is ROKU, just like the name. So let's move on to the weekly chart. Taking a look at the weekly chart, we can see that the relative strength rating is at 93. And then we can also see that the company, just the stock price, has been choppy throughout pretty much its IPO date. The company right now is worth $15 billion and it's 29% off its 52-week high. Let's take a better look by looking at the daily chart, see what's really going on inside. And we can kind of see the same thing as far as the choppiness goes in the stock's price. There are times where it's a little bit more subtle, but it is above its 50-day moving average, and it's trying to break above that 200-day moving average. So that's definitely something to look at for those who are into technical analysis. Let's see how the company performs. Let's take a look at the business model. And Roku, they gain revenue in one of two ways. They do that by selling hardware, such as its Roku sticks, speakers, stuff like that. And also they sell on their platform license. So they license their operating software to TVs. So like TCL, Hisense, other TV manufacturers as well. And how they get their money is one by licensing, but also through content and advertising revenue. So if you look down below, there's a competition, which is Apple TV, Android TV, Amazon Fire TV, Chromecast, also game consoles as well. But I think what separates Roku apart is it's the middleman. It doesn't create any content, which is great for them. So whereas Apple TV and Amazon Fire TV and maybe even Chromecast, when they're creating content, they may not want to go ahead and put content which Amazon made on Apple TV or Apple TV on Amazon Fire TV. So I feel like Roku just kind of just playing the middleman, saying, hey, all I'm here to do is just to provide the content which you guys create. It definitely puts them in a position to grow. So look at some company news. So Roku buys ad tech platform DataJu for $150 million. They did this last year, which definitely is going to help with their advertising revenue. Also, Roku and Fox, they reached a distribution deal to avoid streaming blackout, and this was actually right before the Super Bowl took place. A lot of people may have or may have not known that, but it was close to a deal not being reached. So they were able to go ahead and reach a deal, and I think that's very important because Fox is a huge company, and Roku is still growing. So for them to have this leverage for Fox to go ahead and reach this deal definitely says volume to the value which Roku has added to consumers. And this year, in January, Roku grew its licensing with new brands. So it announced that 15 new TV brands are going to launch Roku TV, all the way from Canada, Mexico, the UK. So this is definitely very big. If you guys can read that little fine print, it has all the little TV brands which is going to be partnering with. So definitely is going to help their license or their platform as far as ads and just license revenue. Now let's take a look at the industry. So paid TV subscriber has been on the decline. If you look all the way back until I'm going to say about 2014, right? But probably even further than that. But just taking a look at it, you can see that this trend isn't going to continue this year on February 20th. You can see that they lost 6 million more subscribers in 2019 as cord cutting picks up. So really, you can just go buy Roku TV. You don't need to have any channels, because people are just giving away content now just so people can go, just so they can get data from consumers. So they're just giving away this content for free. And if you look down on the diagram, which is highlighted in purple, you can see that these are the top TV manufacturers. So this is their market share. So Samsung has a considerable amount, but you can look at TCL, which is a main partner with Roku, and you can see how they've been growing. Also, the company partnered with Hisense as well. You can kind of see that they've been growing as well. So definitely look forward to the future and see how this continues to grow. We're going to take a shift now and move on to the financials. The company's revenue for a 3-year annualized has been growing at 41%. And if you look at the operating income and net income, they are both negative because the company hasn't turned a profit yet. So return on assets is going to be negative, return on equity negative as well. And just moving on to the income statement, we can go ahead and see. Yeah, we can go ahead and see that revenue has been increasing. So it reached $1 billion last year. Operating income is negative $70 million, and net income is negative $60 million as well. And a big reason for that, guys, is because of the hardware. So the hardware, it makes up a big majority of the cost of goods sold. So that's definitely something to pay attention to see how the company moves forward, and see if they continue to produce hardware, or if they're just going to move on to licensing revenue and advertising revenue as their sole focus. And also taking a look at their SG&A, that's been increasing as well since about 2017. And R&D has been increasing as well, which isn't surprising, especially with the company still growing. But if you move on to the balance sheet, you can see that the company, I'll just take real quick, the quick ratio is 2.37. The current ratio is about 2.5, interest negative, and debt negative 24.75, and debt to equity is about 0.6. And you can go ahead and just take a look at how that's broken down. And just moving on to the cash flow statement. So operating activities, depreciation was $15.6 million. Stock-based compensation was $85.2 million, which was kind of high to me when I actually took a look at that. Change in accounts receivables negative $110 million, which is something which isn't bad, guys. It's not bad if you see that the change in accounts receivable is negative, because if that's growing, then that means that more people are consuming, or more people are owe the company. All right, so it's just when those payments start getting out of hand, or actually that number starts decreasing, that you start to worry. So yeah, a negative $110 million, which is good compared to what it was last year. Change in accounts payable is $88.5 million. So they did take on more debt. So CapEx of the company is negative $77 million. Acquisition is $68 million, and that was for DataJu. Net investments $42 million. So moving on to the financing, money from exercising stock warrants came out to $358 million, $8 million. Issue of long-term debt, pretty much $100 million. So definitely something to look out for if they continue to increase their debt and what they're using their debt for, guys. So that's definitely something to pay attention to. So now I'm just going to move on to management. So this is Anthony Wood, guys. He's the founder and CEO of the company. He's been in the TV industry forever. He actually helped create Replay TV. And that was big because it was essentially like TiVo. And he also worked with Netflix as well to bring their content online. He was actually a very, very big part of that. So he definitely knows his way around the TV industry. And what people are looking for as far as TVs go. Moving on to the CFO, which is Steve Luden. So Luden joined the company in 2015. Before that, he worked with Expedia. Also, he had positions at Washington Mutual, McKinsey, and Walt Disney. He was actually a financial analyst with Merrill Lynch, and that's actually how he started his career. So that's a little bit about the CFO, Steve Luden. And the CMO is Matt Anderson. He's been with Roku since 2011, and he oversees all the branding and communications. He had big roles, or senior roles, I'd say, with News Corp and Sky. And you guys can go ahead and just read a little bit of rest about him. So this is just the management team. Definitely want to know who's running the show behind the scenes. And that's it for Roku, guys. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys on my next video.